Let's get some more on that story now. We can speak to Kilic Bugra Kanat, who's a professor of political science at Penn State University in the US. He joins us live from there now. Great to have you with us. So not too many details yet on this phone call, but what do you make of what they discussed?
I think the readouts on both sides were really short and non-descriptive, actually. Both sides agree that there are problems, and they basically decided to handle those problems in a meeting on the sidelines of NATO Summit on June 14th. So this is a positive development. Both sides recognize that there are a range of issues, including S-400 and YPG. And the second positive part of it, both sides agree that there are areas of cooperation and extensive areas of cooperation. So instead of focusing on these disagreements, they also have two tracks at the same time. And in the second track, they decided to work together in different areas. Now, they didn't define which areas they are speaking about or which areas they will negotiate when they meet in June. But what we can expect at this point is in 2 months until June, we can see a high-level diplomacy on both sides, a busy diplomacy, preparing for this summit, foreign ministers, national security advisors. I think there will be an extensive dialogue and some conversation about the regional issues. And when two leaders meet in June 14th, 2 months from now, probably we will have a clear idea about what are the potential solutions for the problems and what are these extensive areas of cooperation.
And how do you think this relationship between President Erdogan and President Biden will differ from the relationship with President Trump?
I think there is a different ways of, doing businesses for President Trump and President Biden. And we have to remember that this is the fourth U.S. president that President Erdogan will engage. President Bush, President Obama, President Trump, and President Biden. And he met with President Biden when he was vice president 3 times, so they know each other. He even hosted President Biden in his house. So I think they are familiar with each other. What is different at this point is, I think, 2 things. Number one, we have a COVID crisis, and the United States has been the epicenter of the COVID crisis for so long. And the priority of the Biden administration right now has been for the last at least 2 months, 3 months right now to deal with the COVID crisis. The second issue is President Biden wants to go standard and empower State Department and empower American diplomacy. And he wants to engage in these kind of negotiations at the very last minute to sign an agreement or to iron out some difficult issues that only presidents need to deal with.
What we did see spoken about in this readout was effective management of disagreements. So there's an awareness they have some differences, but certainly a willingness to work on them.
Of course, when I see these readouts, when there is a statement saying that the conversation is frank and honest conversation, or if there's a statement saying that effective management of the disagreements, it is basically recognition that there are differences, and there is no point to hide that. Everybody knows that there are significant differences, but the fact that they decided to handle this in a different way, instead of personal diplomacy between President Trump and President Trump and President Erdogan, I think they will establish a mechanism, maybe a crisis management mechanism that will handle these differences in the next couple of years.
Okay, Kilic Bugra Kanat, thank you very much indeed for joining us today.